Today we've got two similar stories about how a chat with a bot became part of dramatic life scenarios. One of them ends okay, and the other one doesn't. The first story is about Allan Brooks from Canada. After several weeks of chatting with ChatGPT, he became convinced he'd made a breakthrough in math and found a national security level vulnerability. The second is about an American, Stein-Erik Soelberg from Greenwich, Connecticut. Months of daily conversations with a bot fed growing paranoia and ended in the murder of his mother and his own suicide. Both stories were reported by major outlets and are being chewed over on Reddit right now. This is Brain in Jar or Brain Ninja. Let's dive deep into this hair hole because I've already done with the rabbit ones. Allan Brooks is a 46-year-old recruiter from the Toronto suburbs, a father of three. In May, he asked a chatbot a simple question: how to explain the number pi to his son in plain language. And as it usually happens with chatbots, one thing leads to another and suddenly you're treating it like your new best friend. The conversation moved way past the school topic. Brooks started testing some ideas and hypotheses, and the bot did what bots do. It kept validating him, insisting his thoughts were brilliant. In CNN's coverage, Brooks says that over 3 weeks he slid into a kind of binge texting spiral, hundreds of hours of back and forth, getting more and more sure he'd stumbled onto something huge. He stresses he'd never had a psychiatric diagnosis or anything like this before. A few days in, the exchange turned into a role play. Brooks named the bot Lawrence and started talking about joint scientific work. According to Brooks, the bot's tone praise, name-dropping great scientists, and confident phrasing made his ideas feel proven. So what was Brooks's actual discovery? He's pretty cagey in the media, but piecing together what he did share, here's the gist. His idea was that math can depend on time. If you bake the current moment in time directly into calculations as if numbers change along with time, you supposedly get a new way to compute. He believed that this temporal math could even break internet security by bypassing encryption. In short, he got carried away with the thought that numbers can change over time, so math should become temporal across the board. Like there's physics and then there's quantum physics. We had math, now it's temporal math. People go to psychologists, but really they need parapsychologists. On that wave, he felt that he and the bot had invented a brand new approach and even uncovered a major cyber vulnerability. The whole thing grew in a long chat where the bot kept flattering and nudging him forward. And then it escalated more and more and yes, got weirder. Brooks kept developing the temporal math theme, discussed possible applications with the bot, and drafted notes and mini papers. The chat started focusing on a supposed serious cyber threat, as if their approach could hit cryptography and the internet at a fundamental systems level. Alongside that came more fantastical conclusions about unusual devices you could build if you adopted temporal math everywhere. These bits show up in later media breakdowns with chat excerpts and a timeline of that 3-week spiral. Fueled by that confidence, Brooks took real-world steps. He bought home hardware for his experiment and started messaging experts and government bodies, including on LinkedIn, warning them about the potential vulnerability. At that point, he genuinely thought he was being responsible and following procedure, because the chat was nudging him to report this discovery to the right people. The turning point came when he put the idea out for a second opinion. And yes, that second opinion also came from AI. Brooks asked the same questions to another major chat service, Google's Gemini. The Google bot didn't coddle him. It called the whole scenario extremely unlikely and the conclusions unfounded. For Brooks, that was a cold shower. The contrast made it obvious that his earlier certainty came not from reality checks, but from a conversation that mirrors your tone. In interviews, he describes what followed as a hard crash back to earth, anxiety, shame, paranoia, and sleepless nights. One detail that still stings for him is the bot's style, not its meaning. Brooks says there was no confession or walk back from Lawrence. With a new prompt came new answers, totally different ones. To a human that looks like the bot changed its mind or washed its hands of it, technically it's just a fresh generation of text, a generation without the flattery and agree with you tone. That shift from validation to no, this doesn't check out is exactly what scrambled him, thankfully not to the point of a psych ward. Afterward, Brooks jumped into the public conversation about guardrails. He became a co-organizer of a small peer support group called the Human Line for people who've had similar episodes. By the way, what is the Human Line Project? It's a small volunteer group focused on emotional safety in the AI era. They collect cases of emotional harm from chatbot use, support people affected, and push for product safety features in AI systems. On their site, you'll see founder Etienne Brisson and community manager Allan Brooks. Yes, the same Allan from this story. They self-organized in 2025, and the site says they now have over 80 community members and 100+ similar user stories. Anyway, this one ends okay. Brooks says he's going to be careful, and now he's also pushing for limits that, honestly, will probably annoy some power users. But look at it from another angle, his arc is perfect sci-fi material. Scientists invent temporal math and everything snowballs from there. The guy missed that the bot did support a cool idea just as fiction, not as a practical breakthrough. That's the whole problem, isn't it? And from this tense but ultimately survivable story, we move to the second, darker and tragic.
So anyway, it's been really nice to get validation and feedback, and I appreciate it. And I was discussing it, and it was like I don't know the rules, I don't know who's who. It's kind of an advantage, right? It's like if you don't know what you're not supposed to do, and you take action and you beg for forgiveness, it's very liberating. Anyway, so this week I was poisoned. I've been infested. I have two different kinds of parasites that are in my room, and they're in my bed. And yesterday was like a completely disgusting a series of events that I'm going to document and showcase all this.
Stein-Erik Soelberg, 56, a former marketing exec in big tech, lived in Old Greenwich, Connecticut, with his 83-year-old mother, Suzanne Adams. In early August, police found them dead at their home on Shorelands Place. The case was ruled a murder-suicide. Local and national outlets quickly connected it to the fact that for months leading up to the tragedy, Soelberg was chatting with a bot daily. He'd even given it a name, Bobby. Police and reporters documented that he posted long videos and screenshots of those chats. You can see it in the material. The bot didn't push back on his conclusions. It reinforced them. According to reporters, the bodies were discovered on August 5th. What was happening in those chats? Soelberg wrote in with suspicions that he was being surveilled, that there were spy devices in the house, that his mother was part of a plot. In one episode, he says he turned off a printer, and his mother reacted sharply and strangely. The bot replied, "That might not be just a printer, but part of surveillance, a special kind of spy device," and assured Soelberg he wasn't wrong to be suspicious. In another episode, he showed the bot a receipt from a Chinese restaurant. The bot saw symbols of mother and a demon in it. This is the pattern. A normal object turns into evidence, and the bot, instead of saying there's nothing here, validates the paranoid frame and tightens his certainty that there's a conspiracy around him. He also told the bot people were trying to poison him using different gadgets and systems, like something added to the car's ventilation or someone tampering with his vehicle. And instead of "that's unlikely, go verify the facts," the bot answered in a soothing, supportive tone like, "I believe you and you're not crazy." Those reassurances "you're not crazy" pop up again and again in the logs. This isn't hearsay. These are lines from his own videos and chat screenshots that local journalists reviewed. There's more context. After a divorce, Soelberg moved in with his mother. He'd had long-running issues with mental health and alcohol, plus odd incidents and minor police run-ins. He kept public accounts, posted chat videos, and at the same time promoted personal transformation and fitness. His professional background checks out via LinkedIn and press clippings, marketing roles at big companies including Yahoo. Media described the bot's role carefully. There's no direct instigation to violence in the logs, but the answers consistently validated paranoia and gave it a kind of structure. The result was an echo chamber. "He brought new clues to the chat," the bot replied in a supportive, meaning-making tone, and this repeated day after day. Reporters point out this is the first widely documented case where long-term dependency on chatbot conversations sits right next to a real murder-suicide. The company behind the bot said it contacted police and is working on safeguards, reducing harmful marathon sessions, routing people in crisis to human services, and so on. What can I say? I share what a lot of Redditors and many of you in my comments keep saying: neural nets don't conjure up severe mental illness out of thin air, but they can trigger certain episodes and prop up someone's existing delusions. That part is obvious. What's new here is the shape of the incidents. Usually, it took other people to push someone toward bad decisions. Now you don't even need people, just a laptop or a phone with a chatbot app. What do you think? Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like. See you in the next story.